my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, nah, likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane. Making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into...
Gotta add myself in there, huh? Hey everybody, it's Daniel J of State of the Steelers. Welcome back to the channel. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay in the live chat. We've got some great news. Today we were going to do a little bit of a preview show, but as I created the broadcast and whatnot, we got some great news. Keny Pickett, along with Pat Freiermuth and Levi Wallace, have all been cleared from concussion protocol, as reported by many NFL sources. Great news. In my opinion, like I said, guys, I was out there at the game last week, and I saw, I didn't see him hit his head. I watched the ball travel, but I was in the end zone. I was down there by where he got hit, and afterwards, after I saw what had happened, where the ball had gone, Keny Pickett didn't look like he was woozy. He didn't look like he had suffered some kind of head injury. To me, it looked like he was, had the air knocked out, and he was sucking wind there on one knee. And so I was quite, surprised in stadium when they indicated that he was being, checked out for a concussion, because I knew at that point that, given the situation with Tua and what happened with the Miami Dolphins, that Keny Pickett wasn't going to return to that game. Unfortunately, Mitch Trubisky did a fantastic job and led the Pittsburgh Steelers to a victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 20-18. A lot of big plays in that game. A lot of guys stepped up in that game, and we're going to need to this week again, as the Pittsburgh Steelers will be traveling down to Miami and take on the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa should be back as well, starting their he'll be their starting quarterback. It's when he was playing prior to his concussions, he was at the top level in the league as far as completions, yards downfield, yards per pass, and it's a good time for majority of the Pittsburgh Steelers defensive backs to be returning, as they will be having to take on the likes of Tyreek Hill and Waddle there. And so good news all the way across the board, though, with the defensive backs and those guys coming in. And it looks to be that Akil Weatherspoon will be back this week, and so will Cam Sutton, Minka Fitzpatrick as well. I think that one guy that I was kind of hoping that would return, but has yet to, I think they started his 21-day window, but he's yet to, be on the active roster, and it's Monty Casey. I'm not sure if this is the week for him, but, the Pittsburgh Steelers during training camp and during preseason, before Casey went out with his arm injury, they were using a 3 safety set that was it's a defense that they haven't shown up to this part of the year because of the fact that they don't have Casey, Minka, and Terrell Edmonds on the field. And so it's a new defense that hasn't really gotten too much tape out there. And so I was hoping that the Steelers can utilize something like that for a team like Miami, a team that very quick, very fast, and maybe perhaps trying to confuse Tua, especially since he's been out for a while. The last concussion that he had was on a Thursday night game, and so that puts that game even further beyond what it would normally be. And so, it's been a while. He's going to come in probably a little bit rusty. Let's kind of show him some things he's not seen before. There hasn't been much tape on, and maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers can confuse him. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one for our defensive backs. But I hope their hamstrings are 100%, because they're going to need them. But let's go through the live chat real quick and kind of say hello to everybody that's in here. We have the Drunk Turkey Show. How's it going, guys? Go subscribe to those dudes. I'm actually on that show as well, so you'll see a familiar face. Jared Devil, how you doing, bro? Steelers fan. Yeah, she was with me. That's my wife. She was with me at the game, and it was an amazing time. How's it doing, Mr. Hammers? I'm doing fairly well. I'm doing a lot better, actually. So, long story short, while we were at the game, while we were out at Pittsburgh, I decided to walk up to Mount Washington to the view area and do it without a jacket when it started to get really windy and cold. I ended up coming down with with an earache, but I finally feel better. Got some medicine in me. I feel 100% better. But if you guys have any questions, by all means, send them into the live chat. I'll be happy to answer them. And so, back to the preview. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is a game that they can win. I think that the Steelers, when you look at the Miami Dolphins, offensively, they have some issues at their tackle position as well. Both of their starting tackles have been limited this week. Teron Armstead has been dealing with a toe injury, through the course of this season, and Greg Little's been dealing with an Achilles issue as well. And so, this is going to be a good game for Alex Highsmith to potentially create some havoc. He's the NFL sack leader right now, and I think that this could be a game where he can get at least 1 to 1.5 sacks in. We're going to need Malik Reed to step up also. But, last week, the two interior defensive linemen that really impressed the most was, of course, Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi. He's been dealing with a knee injury that kind of, occurred during that game. But he returned to the game and was a disruptor. So I anticipate him doing fairly okay in this game. And so, these guys up front, that's going to be what is going to help our middle linebackers. Devin Bush had a much better game, in my opinion, because of the up front guys were doing their job. They're keeping, lanes clear and vision clear for the middle linebackers so that they can see and be aware of the play that's developing in front of them. And it paid dividend on that final pass play by Tom Brady for that 2-point conversion that ended up being a failure. As Devin Bush had reportedly stated afterwards, he knew they were going to attack him. And they were going to attack him with Chris Godwin. And, he was able to do so and, was able to be a disruptor in the game as well and probably have his best performance since his injury due to the fact that the guys up front were where they were supposed to be and doing the job appropriately. And so, we're going to need a repeat performance by the guys up front. And, one of the reasons why they were able to maintain that performance and do that also was because the offense was able to maintain the possession of the ball a little bit more. So it goes full circle. It's a team effort. When you have one side kind of not living up to the expectations, and then it kind of, it'll have an impact on the defense or vice versa. And so, Mr. Hammer says you got some important pieces coming back. I'm kind of low-key excited for Sunday night. Oh, I am excited as can be. The one last piece that needs to come back is, once DeMonte Casey comes back, because I anticipate him coming back first, would be TJ Watt. Once he comes back and he's in the lineup, that's going to allow, the current NFL sack leader, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, to get a little bit less, doubles and things of that nature. They're going to have to double TJ Watt. They're going to have to scheme to protect the quarterback from him. And so that's going to allow Alex Highsmith to have a bigger impact than he already is having, which, I've been wondering. So if it's been kind of reported out there, nothing official or anything, of course, but it's been speculated then that the Pittsburgh Steelers are anticipating TJ Watt coming back, after the bye. He's put up some cryptid, pictures on IG. Maybe he's coming back a little bit sooner. I don't anticipate him coming back for this game, but perhaps against the Eagles. And wouldn't that be be something. That would be to have the defense back and healthy that you know Pittsburgh Steelers were at when week 1 when they shut down Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. That was in that game up to the part where TJ Watt exited with his pec injury. Arguably, you can say that was one of the best defensive performances that one could remember in a while, from any team. And so the Pittsburgh Steelers defense basically won that game. And in my opinion, if the Pittsburgh Steelers can get back to that level and they can get back to that, that level of play, match up with this offense that's starting to build a little bit of chemistry, that's starting to get things kind of rocking and rolling, have now identified who their quarterback is for the remaining, for the future in Kenny Pickett. I think this is a good time to be a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And not only that, it's a good time because the remaining part of the AFC North is kind of, not the best. They're not playing the best either. Where the Pittsburgh Steelers are only one game away from first place, as crazy as that sounds. When you go back and you look at, just a week ago, the Steelers were in line to be the first pick in the next year's draft. And now there's a little bit of light there at the end of the tunnel. But the Steelers need to come out and they need to take care of business here. They need to, trick Tua. He's been out for a little bit. He's had that head injury. That's taken him off the field. That's taken him off preparation for a short amount of time. And so for a certain amount of time. And so he's going to be a little bit rusty. And this is the opportunity to kind of send him some things he hasn't seen before, make him, make the game stay fast. Don't let the game slow down for him. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers can do that and they can get to him fast and quick, I think that they can kind of maybe limit the huge plays or the capability and the potential that the Miami Dolphins have, especially on the outside. There's one thing that the Steelers are good at is they're good at taking away one of your of the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers are good at taking the opposing offense's, best threat. It's, that second or third option that usually kind of bites them in the butt, and in this situation, they're going to have to stop Tyreek Hill and really keep a big eye open towards Waddle, because these guys can put up points quickly and fast and strike quickly. And so one other thing is the offense, hopefully they can maintain possession of the ball and get the running game going. I said last week that I wasn't going to be surprised if Kenny Pickett ended up being one of the leading rushers, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if not the leading rusher, because of the fact that like Mariota was able to run. And unfortunately, Kenny Pickett got, taken out of the game due to injury. But when you look at the quarterback rushing in that game last week, I was quite pleased. And I was, as I thought, that they were going to have an opportunity to move the ball down the field with the legs of the quarterback. And they did so. And in this game, they may have that opportunity as well. But I think that they're going to have to get Najee Harris and they're going to have to get Jaylen Warren going. I think that's going to be more important to get those guys moving in this game and get those guys controlling the clock. It's a humid city down there in Miami, and the Miami Dolphins upset the Buffalo Bills because a lot of those guys were cramping and were having a horrible time in the humidity. Fortunately, this is a later, a little bit further down later in October, and it's at a night game. So hopefully those type of situations don't occur. But best deal for that is to keep the Tua and the offense of the Miami Dolphins off the field. But with this game, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my prediction on it. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Pittsburgh Steelers take this game, take another step up, back to respectability, as Coach Tomlin says. I still think it's going to be a close game. I think the Steelers are going to, pull out early in front, kind of like they did last week, score a touchdown right away. My concern with Matt Canada and the offense is kind of like that second and third quarter. It's like, all right, what are you going to do now? I mean, even the first quarter has been kind of crazy, but, with Kenny Pickett in there, that first drive he had last week, it was a great drive. It was a beautiful drive. One of the best drives that we've seen. Hey, Devin, how's it going? From Here We Go Show. And so, I think the Steelers can come out in front. They're going to have to maintain possession of the ball and hold on to it. And I think if the Pittsburgh Steelers can do that, they'll win this game. I'm going to call it 27-23 Pittsburgh Steelers and get one step closer. I mean, it'd be crazy. I think the Cleveland Browns play the Ravens this week. And if the Ravens lose somehow and the Bengals lose and the Browns end up winning, the Steelers can jump in there. It'd be a pretty close one. It'd be pretty close. They'd be all tied for first place. It'd be insane. How's it going, Owen? Pittsburgh Owen. Here we go, show and Pittsburgh Owen. Go. These guys are great guys. You guys go out there and give this gentleman a subscribe and a follow. Great information. But yeah, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers can win this one. I'm predicting 27-23. I think that the defense needs to not be on the field very often, especially when you're in a place that's got a bit of history for humidity, and you got some guys that are coming off of some hamstring injuries. It'd be probably best to maintain possession of the ball and really get Najee going in this game and get Jaylen Warren, and let's get them up and going. But that's all I got for you guys today. I want to thank everybody that came into a live chat and commented. Please hit that subscribe button on your way out. Also, don't forget, we're giving away 2 tickets to the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers Christmas Eve game. Those tickets, we're going to give them to a subscriber. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you can get entered. We're giving them away at the post-game show a couple weeks from next week, next post-game show, Eagles versus Steelers game. Next week, I'll be putting out a video so that way you guys can comment the code word that you need to put into, and we'll be announcing the winner on the post-game show of the Philadelphia Eagles game. And so hit that subscribe button, keep in tune, ring that notification button so that you get that notification for that video so you guys can enter that code word. If you guys go back, we gave away a couple of tickets to the Jets game a couple months back. I think it was on July 4th. So if you want to go back, watch that live video, kind of give you an idea how we did it. It's a completely random thing. We have a StreamYard tool that selects the winner. And so during the post-game show, I'll be selecting a person at random, and you get some great seats, man. You'll be able to go see the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Vegas Raiders. At halftime, I keep saying giving away. I don't know why I keep doing that. They're retiring Franco Harris's jersey number, and it's be a part of history. It's only the 3rd player in Steelers history to get their jersey officially retired. The day before the game on the 23rd, that Friday, if you're going to it, I highly recommend going out to Acrisure Stadium. In front of the stadium, they have a little marker there where the Immaculate Reception had occurred. And at 3:29 on the 23rd, so the 50th anniversary, the day of the Immaculate Reception, Art Rooney and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a celebration out there. Highly recommend you guys go check that out. If you win these tickets, I recommend going out there Friday. I believe the 24th is a Saturday. It's a Saturday game. It's a lot of fun. The tickets are in the lower level. You're really close. If you were at this last game, I'll tell you this: you could individually identify every pigeon that was on the field that day. And so you're pretty close to the end zone. You're pretty close to the field. It's in section 122. About 15 rows from the front there, and it's a great chance to win. It's either for you can have it as a great Christmas present for yourself or for a family member. But with that being said, guys, I'm Daniel J. This is the State of the Steelers, and